Welcome to First and Goal, where everything is made up and the points don't matter. Get ready for the latest and hottest topics in the SML. Let's get started. Here's your host, Mad Bomber.
Welcome to this week's episode of First and Goal. This week we've got Prime, fresh off his loss to Washington. We've got Nole, still looking for his first win. Maybe he'll get a first and goal win before he gets one in the SML. And then we've got Rowin getting ready for the Browns game. Hopefully we get this done in time before he just leaves. All right, how you guys doing tonight?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Don't say good. You're not doing good. We know better than that.
I'm upset. I'm distraught right now.
All right, well, let's see if we can make your night a little worse. So, first down. First down's going to be this was a topic, I think it was Death Wish. He's posting all these polls, and it's really getting a lot of chat going for most of them. But this one seemed to get people pretty fired up. This one in least talented division. But what do you guys think is the best division in the SML? I know when we started it was AFC West, but I think it's been shuffled around a little bit. We'll start with you, Prime. What do you think is the best division in the SML?
Yeah, I think that that's a topic that's very, like you said, highly debated, and a lot of people want to say, the NFC West with meats, with dump, and with RD, but I don't see, when I measure a division being good, I measure it based off of championship caliber teams. Like, how many championships is this division going to count for? Because that's all I care about. Wins and losses, who cares? After a certain point. So Meats, he can't get the job done. Dump, he's busy playing Romeo, Juliet, whatever he's doing. And RD, so I'm going to say RD is the one guy who can win a Simbardi out of that division. Okay. AFC West, you've got Future, you've got ZZ, you've got Death Wish, and then you've got Dan. And I'm only saying the Preacher is the only one who can win a Simbardi out of that division. So the best division in the SML has two guys, and that is the AFC South. You've got myself and you've got Bomber, two guys who can win Simbardis. You've been in the AFC Championship twice. I'm right on your heels. The differential between our games is one score every time. AFC South is the best division in the SML.
All right. Well, off to a good start. Nole, I'm sure you got something to say about that.
Yeah, I'm real surprised by Prime's analysis of the AFC South being the best division. I think we all saw something different coming, and he really shocked us all with that answer. I was going to kind of start off by saying the most complete division is the NFC South, and I know there's going to be a lot of hate towards that because Lawyer and Core 45 haven't really proved themselves yet. But overall, as far as four good teams all together in the same division, that might be the best division, and I wouldn't fault anybody for saying it because it is the most complete. However, the AFC South is the best division. You've got the Colts and you've got the Jaguars, two elite teams. They're both going to win at least one Simbardi. Prime's right. Unfortunately, here I have to agree with him. And I think Coop and I think October are bad. Both of them are average to above average at times. Coop shocks us all occasionally, and I've seen October play pretty well. I know I beat him the only time we played each other. But I know that he's better than what I've seen from him in that one game. So it is the AFC South, with a close second being the NFC West.
Okay. Rowin, what do you think?
I'm going to say it's not the AFC South for sure. It might have been the AFC South last Madden or the Madden before that. But if we're being honest right now, the AFC South has one Super Bowl contender, and it's Mad Bomber. The Colts are a has-been at this point. We saw that tonight. We're going to see it throughout the rest of the cycle. But the best is the NFC West with Meats, RD, Dump, even Tiny, as much scrutiny as he gets. I think he's trending in the right direction. But, in the playoffs, you can put three teams in the playoffs there with RD, Meats, and Dump. And once you get in, all it takes is one little hot streak. And I think any of them get hot at the right time, they can all bring home Super Bowl. Like I said, the AFC South is up there, but I only see one clear-cut good player in the AFC South with Mad Bomber, and Coop is, if you take away Derrick Henry, what is Coop? And October, I just beat 28-6. So I don't see much in the bottom half of the AFC South either. So I got to go with the NFC West.
Okay. I don't know if I agree with the take away Derrick Henry because he is there. What are the Giants without Saquon Barkley and everybody else without their best player? But okay.
I think it's appropriate. I think it's appropriate that the SML Giants, the team who choked in Week 17, is trying to say the Colts are has been. When I guess it's better to be a has been than never was.
Yeah, I haven't been yet, but I got more future ahead of me than you do.
Oh yeah, we play later on in this season. We'll see how that goes, won't we?
I can't wait.
I have a feeling that will be a game of the week that I will commentate. Should be good. All right, so let's move on to topic 2. Most surprising start of the season. So this can be either good or bad, and we'll start with you, Nole.
Yeah, so I think I was looking at this, and I was between two teams. Death Wish, I saw a lot coming out of him in that one game, particularly with Dan last year, I think it was. He really shocked me quite a bit in terms of the fact that I just looked on today, and he's only got one win. And his scores don't look great either, so I know he's a little surprising. But the answer is the Bills. The Bills are 0-3. I'm top 10 in the league in scoring with only 3 games, and with half that top 10 being teams that have scored more points because they've played 4 games. So I'm 56% on third down, which is number 8 in the league, once again, only 3 games. And I feel like I've played against 3 good teams, but I'm 0-3, and my scores don't really show that. And if you watch my games, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So me being the top bottom part of the league, or the top bottom 5, I think it is, it's pretty surprising to me, and I think it's probably surprising to everybody else.
I'd agree with that. Rowan, what do you think? Most surprising start to the season?
Most surprising, I agree. The Bills start surprises me. Noah was someone I did not want to see at all last year, and I figured he would have this team built a little better and be playing a little better than he is. But most surprising, I got to say Future, because Future, I mean, he's been known as a good player, but at the end of last Madden, he was falling off a little bit, and people were saying, I'm not sure he's got it in him, and then first 2 seasons he was holding his own, but he wasn't the future that we thought he was. And this year he's 3-1. He's got that team built to where he wants it to be. I think later this season, next season, he's gonna figure out Dan and start competing with Dan. So I think 3-1 is a little surprising because I was expecting him to kind of hover around the 2-2 area, kind of just get through to where he's average. But I think he's starting to surprise some people, and he's got to be taken seriously there in the AFC West.
All right.
What was the has-been team that beat Future this year?
Oh, it was you. I mean,
okay.
even a blind squirrel finds an acorn every now and then.
Speaking of, that leads me right into my surprise guy of the season, and it's Washington. And here's why: he completely bent Grams over, and I don't think anybody's seen that coming. I know Grams has been kind of iffy this cycle, really, but Grams doesn't usually get blown out like that. And then he turns around, he plays Rowin and he gets a break, and then he plays me, he gets a PI. This guy should be like 1-2 or 1-3. Instead, he's got complete control of the NFC East, and he's gonna have to fall somewhere. And he's good enough to where I think he's gonna use this as a catapult to win the division. And I don't think really anybody's seen that guy coming. He didn't have a whole lot of hype coming out of primer like some guys. So I would say Q Pierce is the guy that's kind of the most surprising.
I will say somebody made a bold prediction that he would be the number 1 seed in the NFC this season. I don't know.
Can I throw in an honorable mention real quick say the Patriots? Everybody hyped him up. Mike, I shouldn't say everybody. Mike FML, a few of his buddies hyped him up. The guy's been a disappointment, just a flat out disappointment.
All right. So that's going to take us to topic 3. I don't think any of those teams are going to be included in this. But topic 3, if you could switch rosters, entire team, you just right now, mid-cycle, you just get to pick any team in the SML you want. What team are you picking, Rowan?
See, this one was one I looked over, and there's about 3 teams I'll really cut it down to, and one of those teams is going to surprise. I don't think anyone would have this team anywhere near their top 3, but it's the team I'm going to go with, and that's the Carolina Panthers. I mean, it sounds absolutely crazy, but if I break it down for you here, they got Christian McCaffrey, who's an all-purpose do-it-all, 99 from day one. You got Samuel, DJ Moore, and Robbie Anderson on the outside, all absolute burners. Then if you get to the defensive side of the ball, you got Brian Burns, Yetur Gross-Matos, and Derek Brown, all young, good players on the front seven. Linebacking core, you got Shaq Thompson and a 90-speed user middle linebacker I can't think of off the top of my head right now. And then when you get to the secondary, you got Dante Jackson, who's one of the better cornerbacks in Madden because of his attributes with 97 speed, along with Eli Apple, who's 80 overall with 93 speed. And then Jeremy Chin at the back end, who's young. I mean, the Panthers have pieces all over. They're just a well-rounded, fast, athletic, good team who, if they're in the right hands, they would be very dangerous.
Okay. Prime, we'll go to you. What team would you swap with?
Yeah, that Panthers team's a solid team. Quarterback's a bit of an issue, so I'm looking at the Chiefs. It's just a no-brainer pick. And this game, you have ZZ the Great, who almost, I think he went 8-8 this past cycle, or 7-9. You know, and it's ZZ. That guy's a 2-win player, and he went 8-8 because he has Patrick Mahomes. He's got Tyreek Hill. He's got Hardman. He's got Kelsey. I mean, those weapons are insane. And defense plays so bad this year. You could have the guy in the right spot on a prevent defense, and they still might call a pass interference. So you might as well just outscore the team anyway, right? So you might as well take Mahomes and put up 60 points. The guy's rating, he's the best Madden quarterback I've seen since Michael Vick, honestly, in Madden 04. That guy is loaded with abilities and attributes.
All right, Nole, what do you think? Any team you could take right now?
To follow up on what Rowin said, I like the Panthers a lot too. They don't get enough credit, but still, they're not one of the best teams. The Cardinals, the Ravens, the 49ers, those are the elite teams that you'd want to trade with. But Prime, once again, is absolutely right. It's the Chiefs, and it's all because of two players. Patrick Mahomes has 5 superstar abilities, including Bazooka as his X-Factor ability. It's just ridiculous when you look at his ratings. And you have Tyreek Hill, who has 99 speed, 99 acceleration, and 99 agility, and 95 release, and 96 catching, and 97 deep route. I mean, that's just ridiculous. In that season that Prime was mentioning before, ZZ is probably one of his best seasons I've seen in the past couple of years. He beat me, and he had like 4 touchdowns with Tyreek Hill off like 5 catches. It was pretty ridiculous. There's not a whole lot you can do with the way the new Madden's set up. And if I had those 2 players, I could build any team around it and win and be in the playoffs every year. So he's right again, and I hate agreeing with Prime, but when he's right, he's right. So
now, I will have to say real quick, because they both went with the Chiefs. I played the Chiefs last season with my abysmal Giants defense. I think I picked off Mahomes 3 or 4 times and held Hill to 14 yards.
Well,
if you're smart enough to put a game plan together, it's not hard to stop.
Let's be clear, though. You played the Chiefs with ZZ.
I mean, they were saying ZZ can get 8 wins, and if ZZ can be good with them, then anyone can. But I'm just saying, you can take away one player and make a team not look that good.
All right, that's just a horrible take. Give me the Chiefs. That's just a horrible take.
All right, I appreciate that, Dookie, but we're going to move on. All right, so topic 4. And we'll see if Nole agrees with Prime on this one, but Paulie had a take earlier in the season, and then just like switching from AFC South to AFC East, he flip-flopped on this one too. He said this is going to be the first cycle Prime doesn't win a Simbardi. Do you think that still holds true? And if not, how many does he win this cycle? And we'll start with Prime on this one.
Can I pass to Rowin Kuh? I want to hear what he has to say.
All right, yeah, we'll pass to Rowin. That's fine.
I answered this question. I almost answer this question weekly, it feels like at this point. First time I answered it was on a Field General podcast, start of the cycle. I've been on this trend before Paulie was on this trend. This is how many Prime's getting up with right here. 0. The same amount of wins he had tonight. That's how many Super Bowls he's going to end up with. He's not the best player in his division is the host of the show. I don't know how you can expect to be the second best player in your division, not even looking at the conference as a whole, and expect to win some Simbardies. Prime, you're getting older. It's not Madden 20. It's not Madden 19. It's not Madden 18. Even with DK Metcalf, you don't have it in you. If you can't beat a newcomer who's the Washington football team, I don't see how you expect to win a sim party, especially when your father is in the division in Mad Bomber.
All right. Do you want to go now, Prime, or would you like to wait till the end?
Yeah, let Nole go.
All right, Noel, go ahead.
Yeah, there's a lot to say to what Rowin just said. I'm a little confused. Rowan's been here almost as long as I have. I think I maybe have him by like 4 seasons or something like that. I feel like he just hasn't seen all these years of people doubting Prime, and Prime coming back against Oshie, and Prime coming back against Sunday, and Prime coming back against Governor, and Prime coming back. Like it's happened so many times, and this conversation's been tossed around so many times that I feel like it's just ridiculous. No, he's not going to win like more than 3 or 4 titles this year. He's probably going to win 2. He's going to win 2. He hasn't won 2 yet. But the NFC's only going to win 1 the entire cycle. That's my hot take. The NFC's got 1, and it's going to be Faz. Faz is going to finally get 1. It's going to be near the end of the cycle. Meats is going to be in the Super Bowl like 3 times. He's probably going to lose all 3. 1 to Dan, 1 to Bomber again, and then surprise from the AFC, Polly's going to win a Super Bowl. Polly's elite now. He plays really cautious. He runs those wide receiver screens and those halfback stretches better than anybody I've seen in the league. He's got it down. He knows what he's going to do every game. He does not adjust to who he plays. He plays exactly the way he wants to play, and he's eventually going to get a title. So the AFC is going to dominate. The NFC is really not going to put anything. And Prime, of course, is going to be one of those recipients who's going to win multiple titles from the AFC.
All right, Prime.
Yeah, so Rowin, he was right. He was one of the first ones to say that I'm not going to win this cycle on Field General's podcast. On that same show, he made the comment that people won't make bad trades with me anymore. They won't let me build up my team. And then I got in the top 10 and took a quarterback to replace Jacob Eason. And then I got DK Metcalf. And then I built my safety up to superstar. I got Darius Leonard up to superstar. I got Jonathan Taylor up to superstar. So that Colts team that I had in season 1 that had a 65 overall 4th round draft pick at quarterback, the odds of me winning the Super Bowl then wasn't very good. Season 2, I went 14-2, made the divisional round. I was number 1 in the AFC. I lost a Bomber who's a hell of a player, but that alone shows that I've still got it. Now this team is slowly growing with me. So you have these little ankle biters like Rowin who skirts around 7-9, and they yip and yap, and they make the playoffs, and then they get beaten the wild card round. But at the end of the day, I'll be in the Super Bowl 2, 3, 4 times this cycle, and Rowin will be typing the messages, sending how Prime's going to lose, but Rowin won't even sniff one.
All right, so I got to agree with Prime there. He's going to get 1. You were still the first seed in the AFC, so that's got to count for something. But you're not going to get 1 tonight because Nole's going to take the lead with 29 points to 28 with Prime. And Rowin got 24 with his hot takes over there. And it looks like Prime got bushwhacked. And Nole, these 30 seconds are all yours.
Yeah, you guys really doubted the real bushwhack duo was me and Mad Bomber tonight, making sure we took Prime down. He's won a lot of these first and goals. I just want to appreciate that this rigged election, so to speak, it worked out in our favor. We were able to really bring Prime down on a second loss in about an hour and a half or so. So it's pretty great. What I really talk about tonight, though, instead of insulting Prime, was the NFC East. There's been a lot of hatred out there, and Latin Yanks coming up here as the worst team in the league on every show. Walking in the door at 2-2 right now. I think he's 5th in the league in scoring. I mean, it's just ridiculous the hatred that the NFC East has been getting. And it's like people kind of forgot what happened last cycle with the Bucks in the playoffs every year at 13-3. Like, I'm not going to come back eventually. You guys should look at my schedule the rest of this year and wonder if I'm going to make the playoffs again. That's all I got. Mic drop.
All right, guys. Thanks for being on First and Goal.
It was fun.
I had a great time having you, Prime. Maybe you'll get a win at some point. I think you got Dan next, so
Jesus,
it's
God,
not looking good.
But we got Rowin 16. I just looked that up, by the way. That's going to be a good game.
I think Rowin may have you and me back to back then.
I got both y'all back to back.
We'll see how bad the AFC South is.
I'm just glad. I mean, Bomber will be a tough game. You know, Bomber plays good, but I can't wait for Prime.
All right.
Cover
He's
2
gonna
in
keep
post,
poking the
baby.
bear and just doubling down on it. But
Cover 2 in post.
you guys have a good night. Appreciate you being on. Till next week, it's First and Goal.
Peace.
Bye, guys.
All right.
Thanks for listening to First and Goal. Be sure to check out Mad Bomber TV on Twitch and YouTube for the latest from the SML. And we'll see you next time on First and Goal.